In the final days of a tense campaign season, Donald Trump has been pulling out all the stops to reach voters in critical battleground states. Yet, if his recent rallies are any indication, his approach is wearing thin, even among his own base. His tendency to veer off course, dwell on personal grievances, and seemingly focus more on airing his frustrations than delivering campaign promises has reached new lows. At a recent rally, a moment that might have seemed insignificant in past campaigns has become symbolic of Trump's unraveling. An audience member yelled, "Who cares?" as Trump digressed, prompting Fox News to cut away from his speech in real time. In a rare instance, Fox News, often a Trump ally, signaled that this level of self-indulgent monologuing wasn't going to help his campaign, and that their network wouldn't showcase it. This incident has raised important questions. Is Trump sabotaging his campaign with these repetitive tirades? Could he be driving away voters with his inability to focus on the real issues? As Election Day draws near, we analyze what Trump's behavior says about his state of mind, his strategy or lack thereof, and how his opponents are capitalizing on these very public blunders. Trump's incessant focus on Biden. At every rally, Trump seems almost obsessed with talking about Joe Biden, despite the fact that Kamala Harris is his official opponent. Trump frequently drifts into complaints about Biden's absence from the ticket, railing that the Democrats have taken him out as a form of sabotage against his campaign. Instead of rallying his base with promises for the future, he rehashes these grievances as if trying to convince his audience, or maybe even himself, that he was wronged by the system. Audience reaction. Who cares? At this particular rally, Trump's griping about Biden reached such a crescendo that an audience member shouted, "Who cares?" A moment that was caught on camera and circulated widely online. This spontaneous outburst reflected what may be a growing sentiment among his supporters. They want Trump to focus on his opponent, Harris, and to tell them why they should support him, not to dwell on the past. Fox News quickly cut away from the rally, choosing not to air yet another meandering tirade. The network's decision speaks volumes, as they likely sensed that this behavior could turn off undecided voters or even discourage his base. A desperate campaign or self-sabotage. Political analysts have started to question whether Trump's fixation on past grievances is actually a self-destructive instinct, almost as though he is consciously sabotaging his campaign. Despite being one of the closest races in recent history, Trump is spending his precious time on the stump complaining rather than convincing. Strategically, it's a baffling decision and one that has led many to wonder if he's actively working against his own success. The network pulls the plug on Trump's rant. Fox News' decision to cut away from Trump's rally is telling. Once a steadfast supporter of his, Fox News seems to be reevaluating its approach to covering Trump's campaign events. While they have historically provided a platform for Trump's rallies, the network seems to recognize that airing these rambling, unfocused speeches may be more harmful than helpful to his re-election prospects. Why Fox News' cutaway matters. This shift in Fox News' coverage could have far-reaching implications. Trump has relied on the network's unwavering support for years, but this incident may indicate a shift in Fox News' priorities as they try to maintain credibility with a broader viewership. Could this be a turning point for right-wing media's relationship with Trump? As they choose to distance themselves from his behavior, they may signal to voters that his tactics are no longer resonating. At the same time Trump was giving his speech, Kamala Harris was campaigning in Wisconsin, delivering a message focused on policy, economic promises, and specific criticisms of Trump's track record. Harris's speech illustrated a stark contrast. While Trump was caught up in personal grievances, Harris was speaking like a politician determined to win over voters on issues that affect their daily lives. Harris's speech emphasized Trump's failed promises to American workers, especially in key states like Wisconsin. By spotlighting his administration's broken promises on issues such as job growth and the economy, Harris effectively portrayed Trump as all talk, no action, a line that resonates with voters feeling the economic pinch. Her straightforward, policy-driven approach appears calculated to appeal to undecided and moderate voters who may be tiring of Trump's spectacle-driven style. Diehard supporters, or doubts creeping in. Among Trump's most ardent supporters, reactions to these blunders are mixed. Some still cheer him on, viewing his endless grievances as a sign of loyalty to their values and frustrations. However, an increasing number are beginning to express frustration, wondering if he has lost focus on the true goal. The rally's "Who cares?" moment epitomizes a growing impatience within the MAGA movement, as voters demand that he focus on policy rather than personal vendettas. Trump's dangerous rhetoric toward opponents. Trump's inflammatory comments about political opponents, including Liz Cheney, have drawn widespread criticism. Recently, Trump implied that Cheney should face the consequences of battle, a remark many interpreted as a veiled threat. His language has consistently pushed the boundaries, from advocating for military-style tribunals for political opponents to reposting incendiary images on social media. These provocations may serve to rile up his base, but they also risk alienating moderate Republicans and undecided voters who may be turned off by such divisive tactics. How Trump's strategy could backfire. Trump's erratic approach and divisive rhetoric might energize a segment of his base, but it also poses a risk. By focusing more on personal vendettas than on policies, he risks losing voters who crave stability, clear plans, and coherent messaging. Additionally, his willingness to insult or sideline key figures like former allies raises questions about his loyalty to the GOP and whether he prioritizes personal grudges over political strategy. The role of independent voters. Independent voters, a crucial demographic in any election, are less likely to respond positively to Trump's grievance-centered narrative. Harris's disciplined approach to her campaign provides a stark contrast and could attract these independents, especially as they observe Trump's focus on his own complaints rather than on the future of the nation. With Election Day looming, Trump's campaign strategy, or lack thereof, continues to puzzle and even alienate voters. His rally in Michigan, cut off by Fox News, highlighted a striking inability to stay on message, prioritize campaign promises, or even focus on his opponent. As his base begins to express frustration, and with former allies like Fox News turning away from his rambling tirades, the future of his campaign seems increasingly uncertain. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris's message of policy-driven leadership serves as a powerful contrast, capturing undecided voters and rallying those disillusioned by Trump's theatrics. The choice before voters has never been clearer. On one side is a candidate focused on personal grievances and vendettas, with a disorganized campaign that may be driving supporters away. On the other, a disciplined politician with a clear message. As voters prepare to cast their ballots, the question remains, will Trump's endless grievances finally cost him the support of those he once counted on, or will his base stick with him through this chaotic final stretch? Whatever the outcome, this moment, marked by "Who cares?" may become a defining turning point in Trump's campaign, one that will be remembered long after the votes are counted.